So you should see both my Paragon screen and my smiling face here, just so you don't get too bored. You can see me moving, doing something here in this gloomy afternoon. So if it's I don't know if it's raining all across the state, but up here in St. Clair, it's rainy and yucky. So today's webinar is the Collab Center. This is one of my favorite pieces. I absolutely love the Collab Center. There are a few aspects to the Collab Center. You have your client's experience, you have your experience, agent notifications about what your clients are doing, and of course your clients get notifications as well. So my first thing I want to do is go ahead and launch a poll. I want to test the audience to find out if you're using the Collab Center, how new are you to the Collaboration Center? So let's go ahead and you'll see me looking over here on my other screen. I want to make sure, and so let's launch this poll. Have you started using the Collab Center? And it's short for collaboration. This is where you collaborate with your clients. Okay, we'll give just another minute to make sure that everybody has been able to answer the webinar or the poll. All right, almost there. Great, looks like we're good. So I am really happy to say that 100% of you are using the Collab Center. So it looks like we don't have to go too deep into what is it, you know, all those usual questions. What we're going to be doing today is there is a handout associated with your webinar. So on the in the control panel, which is usually to the right side of your screen, you will see handouts. In there is the cheat sheet that we have loaded up into the MLS documents in Paragon. Remember, the MLS documents is right up here. Click into that, and then you will see, you'll see all of our sister MLSs, our vendored MLSs. I'm just going to trim it down to MiRealSource, and here is our education folder. In the education folder, we have 63 different files in there. Some have been alphabetized, but they go by date, what is newest at the top. So if you're looking for Collab Center, just type in Collab, and there's your handout for today if you don't decide to download it from the webinar. I will be showing it every now and again from there. All righty. Okay, so what I want to do is get this over here. Nothing like working with a couple of different screens. You want to make sure to get it all going at the right time. So first we're going to do is we are going to add a client. If you're already using the Collaboration Center, you are pretty well versed in this. So I will have my questions loaded up here on the right-hand side. If you have a question, please feel free to write it over there. I'll keep checking my questions over here. If you have anything else, please make sure to let me know. I should probably turn off my tech support line here. There we go. Oh, the things you need to do with a webinar. Okay, so when you want to add a contact, you're going to go into your contacts module. I'm not going to go too deep into this. I might skim over a little bit. If you need to ask me to slow down, please feel right ahead and do that. So I'm going to add a contact. And my favorite contact is Betty Buyer. First and foremost, I want to remind you that if you have a contact that is no longer inactive, you can certainly just turn them to inactive here instead of deleting them. That way they won't get in on any of the emails. So my favorite buyer is Betty Buyer. Email. Now, as I tab from here, then I'm gonna hit my space bar because I'm a desk jockey. You'll see me tabbing and typing my way through these fields. Now, one of the things in the contacts module is you do have your managing your contacts over here. I can certainly mark that this one is a buyer. These are so you can sort them when you go into your contacts and you're viewing and managing. You can boil that down to just buyers, just family. But we also have another area here that you might not have added. So groups are something that you can add yourself. You have buyer prospects. And the reason why you add groups is so you can bulk email them. So if Paragon is your CRM, here we go. So you'll also see I have a couple of different ones in here. There's also reverse prospecting. If I want to allow other agents in the MLS to get notified that my buyer, say Betty Buyer is looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Roseville, and a listing agent has a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in Roseville, she can reach me and say, hey, your buyer, and her alias would be BB, because I want to give her a BB, an alias. I don't want another agent knowing my client's name. So I'll call Betty Buyer BB. If I get notified from another agent, I'll know exactly who they are. I also have source information here. HomeBot is new. We're still in the getting to know it kind of phase. We're still wanting it to be what we want it to be. So I'm going to go ahead and save my contact here. Once I save it, it will prompt me to associate a property. If I have a listing for this guy as well, I'm going to go ahead and click associate property. All of my listings will auto-populate right here, but I work for the MLS. I do not have listings. I would simply check the box, hit save, and then I would allow my seller to get a weekly digest of what is going on with their property. So that is a really cool piece. So when I go into the next, actually I skipped right over my buyer. From the buyer activity on the left, you have your tree selection here. I can add a search. It's funny, I skipped right over it. I have two options right here. I can add a new saved search. That means creating a new search, or looking at existing search is one that I've done before. My favorite is the lottery search, which I do this a lot in class. Or I'll show you the way it works when you create a search from right here. I'll do it really quick. You know how to create searches, so I don't think I need to go too deep into that. We'll say it's residential. And I'm going to type residential. I only want, let's see, I don't think I want all active right now, because remember, that's also including accepting backup offers. Maybe this one, she wants to buy immediately, so I wouldn't want to include all of those. So I'll just use my magnifying glass on the right to easily select the ones that I want. I'll even select coming soon. That is just now, as of May 1st, we started using coming soon. Remember, our members cannot select that this listing is accepting backup offers. Other MLSs are using this one, so of course we do expose it. Oh, and I want to do back on the market as well. So I'm going to save this. I am going to do St. Clair. Oh, I only want for sale here in St. Clair. We'll go up to 475. We'll go 300. Now I'm just going to type in Clair, and there we have, oh, one listing. Woohoo! Let's ride it up. Let's find a little bit more that's actually in, and then the township as well. Might get a little more. There we go. So you have 13 listings. That'll be awesome. Go down. We at least want 3 bedrooms, 2 baths with the basement. Waterfront would be nice, but not for that price. Can't get it. And I'm sure you are familiar with the features. If I wanted something on the golf course, I could add it here. If I needed cash financing, those would be my feature codes here. If you're not sure what belongs in features, remember the magnifying glass gives you everything here. So everything between your water heater, dining room, kitchen, all of that is located right within your features. Of course, we need a garage, one for the motorcycle, one for the snowblower, actually the car and the snowblower. We need more garages for all your other toys. We're gonna get for 2,000 square feet. Are we still gonna have anything? How about we go 1,500? We still get some good listings. I'm gonna go ahead and hit search, and now you will see what will come up. Just checking to make sure I don't have any questions over here. Alrighty. Looking good so far. And here's where people do get confused, is at the very top. Either add it to a cart, which we don't need it to be a cart. That is another really cool piece. We do have a cheat sheet in the MLS docs. It's called carts. Showing carts, listing, well, that would be listing carts. We have carts for listings, for saving searches, and that also translates to agent recommended listings, which we are going to get into today. I will save the search next. And of course, I need to give it a name, but when I do it from the contacts module, it puts the name right there. Me, I like to, not the 15th. I'm looking for Friday, apparently. And save. Once you hit save, you're back into your contacts module again. And here is the latest update that Paragon has done, the Collab Center. I remember years ago, there was a whole big process from that last step to where we are now. Now, if you want, you can just send the welcome message right here, keep it streamlined. I've saved my search, send the welcome message, and we're good to go. But I want to do just a little bit more customization. I'm going to select settings, because the way it's defaulted is immediately. And remember your notification triggers, there is a default, and we will go through your preferences wizard for the Collab Center to show you how to change any of these, because I do include status change. When things are going off the market so quickly, I want to let my clients know that, well, it was active this morning, it's pending this afternoon. So they have an understanding of how fast things are moving. So here they also move the agent notifications up. Your client notifications, she's a hot buyer. She's going to be going on immediate notifications. So as soon as it comes in the MLS, a few minutes later, she is getting an email. For me, my client notifications, I set up my time in the morning to look at what my clients are doing. So I set mine up on recurring. I click recurring, and then it asks me to select the time frame. Now, in my preferences wizard, I told it I want mine to be defaulted at 7 a.m. So when it comes up, it is 7 a.m. If I only want mine to be on weekdays, then that's what I need to do. If I'm not checking email on the weekends, then I'd be selecting weekdays and hit OK. I do not need to BCC myself. When we first set up the Collab Center years ago, that's how mine was, because I was BCC'd. So I would get Betty Buyer for myself, then I would get my agent notification, and then I would get my BCC. That was way too much. And of course, if I had entered in a spouse into the contacts module, I could simply select the box here and it would auto-populate. For the subject line, activity notification for your Collaboration Center site, I can just preface this by St. Clair and the township. Just so they know it's from me and not something generic, that there was some thought put behind this. Simply hit OK. Send welcome message. It is so much faster now. I absolutely love this. There we go. I was about to say we're a little slow here today. Now, remember, they do have to get a welcome message. That's how they're going to set up their password, a little understanding about what the Collaboration Center is. So as you'll see, this is blank. Well, it's not useful. Click the preview in the upper right-hand corner, and you will see what your client will get. My cell phone number, My email address, of course, I use upper and lowercase. When you add your buyer, please make sure to add their name spelled correctly. I know I have a difficult name, but when you spell my name incorrectly and I'm working with you, yeah, it's not really cool. So this is what your client will see. There are 6 matches found. Where do they come from? And here was those agent picks. When we were talking about carts earlier, that is how you create an agent pick. So what did we go up to? 600,000, I forgot already. If I found a listing that was just north of their price range, but I think they would absolutely love it, I could save it to a cart, and then it would go right in their Collab Center, and they would see that as an agent pick. So they can favorite, possible, and reject their listings. They can create custom folders and compare listings. So custom folders, maybe cool homes with pools, or something that really set it apart for them. Now here's where your branding really comes into place. Your headshot, your company logo. You've got your Facebook link. Now, not everybody wants to add all of this stuff. So if the button is not exposed, if you haven't entered any information for LinkedIn, the button will not be exposed. I have my Facebook for Business. On this preview, they haven't changed it. This is now Instagram. There's LinkedIn and Twitter. So I go ahead and hit close for the preview and send. Now you always want to make sure that you're going to get this big green congratulations right here at the top. And there you have it. There is your email sent. You want to make sure that you're always getting that green success button. Dogs. So here we are, save search for Betty Buyer. Here are these 6 matches. They are all new for this client. Nothing has changed, no favorite, possible rejects. So I love this piece of the Collab Center that I can see everything that's going on. Was there any comments about any of these listings? Okay. And of course, the rest of your contact module. One thing I do want to show you is down here at the bottom left is your message history. There's also another place you can find all your email history, contacts, sent messages. This is everybody. But if I'm looking for the one that went to Betty Buyer, I'm simply going to go into my message history and see what's there. And here we are. This is a manual email because I physically had to push the button to say, welcome to your collaboration site. It was sent at 5/14/12/49. So when your client says, hey, remember that email you sent me the other day? I'm like, no, you're on automatic emails. They don't get that all the time. That's okay. They think that you're pushing the button and sending listings to them all the time. That's okay. You have a great point of reference here. You simply go back, select it, scroll down, and here's exactly what was sent to them. All righty. So no questions so far. That's fantastic. All righty. In a nutshell, we've got your client set up on the Collab Center. But what we want to make sure is we want to make sure your Collab Center is set up the way you want it. Maybe you're getting emails all day long. Maybe your headshot isn't correct. Maybe, who knows, whatever. So let's go into your preferences icon at the very top. And the bottom right, there's the Collab Center Preferences Wizard. I'm going to open that up, click Start. My given name is Deborah, but I don't go by Deborah, and I do have my maiden name as my middle name, because I still use that. So I have changed it to Debbie Rand Fajardo, because I know a lot of people don't go by their given name. Displaying the primary number. Now this is only for my agent information, because I've had people say, well, where's my office information right here? Nope, this page is specifically about the agent information. All right. So here is my primary agent telephone number. Now I asked the MLS to put a secondary number for me, because otherwise it does come up your cell phone and you're displaying both. If you don't have an additional phone, just unselect it so it's not showing. And here is my second one. I want my email address displayed. I want my web page displayed. If your web page is not being displayed here, that is something just send to us. Send it to me, send it to support, just send it to us so we will get that in your member profile. So people have access to that, put it in your page here. And if you don't have your own web page, guess what? You do have a web page. It's from HomeSnap. When you go into the Me tab and select My Public Profile, that is your page. So you can add that anywhere you like. I did add a story video in here. Really funny. I do a lot of videos for the MLS. So I put the agent onboarding. I just wanted to see what it looked like and to show you guys in class. But do a 1-minute video, do a 30-second intro, something about yourself that you love to help your clients. It's a really cool piece. Moving on to my social networks. This was that section in the welcome email that has all of your links there. Now, I'm a big fan of cheating. I copy and paste wherever I can. I don't want to retype this and screw it up. That's simple how it works. So to find my Facebook page, now remember, I want to do my Facebook business page right here. What I'm going to do is simply open a new tab, go to facebook.com. Then I'm going to find my business page. It's in the upper right. I can select it right here too. Big Red Homes would be my real estate page. Then all I need to do is click into the URL at the very top. You'll see it's highlighted. Now I right click, copy, and go back to Paragon. And I would right click and paste. So now I've got all of that there. That's the way to cheat. Same with Twitter. I go out to Twitter. See if I'm still logged in. I don't tweet. Sorry, I am above the age group of who that crowd is. That is correct. I would simply go to my home page, click into the URL, right click, copy, paste, or copy, then go back here and paste. Well, that looks like the home. That doesn't look like the exact right one. I would want my name in there, right? So you see, it's a good thing we go through here. You want to independently verify your information. I would test this after the fact. And if any of you guys have ever heard David DeReese talk, our CEO, the big question is, did you independently verify that? So that's our thing. Let's see. So I would assume to my page, there we are. There we go. See, now it has my name in here. Copy. Go back to Paragon and paste. You need to make sure to have your name in it. See, in here it's Big Red Homes. We zoom in a little bit. Big Red Homes, Debbie and MI. LinkedIn, you got Debbie Rand Fajardo. And this one, which is the Instagram, when it was Google Plus and it was being phased out, I put in my Lines for Humanity page. Why not? I am starting to use Instagram a little bit more, so maybe I will change that out. To get a My Story video link in here, what you want to do is you can create a little video here if you'd like, put it on a stand, talk into it, make sure you're not doing this, it looks really, really bad. Make sure that your face is up and bright into the light. And 1-minute video, 2-minute videos. When you upload that to YouTube or some other platform of that, I keep it simple. It's YouTube for me. It doesn't have to be a published page, but you can create your own page. So that's what I see a lot on tech support. How do I get my video to be a link? That's a really good idea because it's a file on your computer. You can't stick that file in there. So I upload the file to YouTube, and then you can go in and say, where's the share link? Copy the share link, paste it right here. So if you need a little help on that, please feel free to reach out to me. Tech support, they're real good about helping you through all this little stuff that makes a huge difference. Agent image, now here's a very good one. Some of those agent images are squished. If you have a rectangular image, that's why there's a crop tool. It's going to put it into a square for you. I don't need to be squished any more than I am. So there's a crop tool. You'll notice that this is a square photo and it looks really good here. All right, let's go back up to the top and hit the next. No questions so far as I'm double checking over there. Okay, we are looking good. I'm gonna go to the next page. Someday. There we go. This is the About Me page. This is a standard message in here. It tells your clients how to use this. And if you want to update it, you certainly can. If you screw it all up and you've got it so far out of whack, I have something like this, go figure, in the MLS documents under my education folder. Or again, just reach out to me. Hey, Debbie, could you help me out on this? I screwed it all up. Because Lord knows I do that a lot. I tend to play with things. I'm like, wow, this is crazy now. Okay, now this has been modified too. I absolutely love this piece. The links in here. Remember, this is for your clients. This is to help your clients out with your area. I'm in St. Clair, Michigan, and what's around me is the Blue Water Chamber of Commerce. So in the Collab Center, my clients have a link to the chamber. I also put a link to my HomeSnap app. You'll see, look, on that web page here, homesnap.com, Debbie Rand Fajardo. That is my web page. Semco Energy, of course, War Water Brewery. I can't wait for them to open up again. They are a whopping 1 mile away from my house right there. The owner graduated high school with my husband. So of course, we're going to be giving props out to War Water Brewery. So when we are all getting out and about, having a beer, congregating with friends, drop into War Water Brewery. To add, you'll simply add at the very top left. And again, I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna go find something. What do we wanna find today? Oh, I did. St. Clair Golf Club. Alrighty, here we are. There we go. I want to help build the membership over at the St. Clair Golf Club. Again, I put my cursor in there. I click in, highlights it, copy, right? It's right click, copy, go back to Paragon, paste. As I tab through there, here's what I do like. I like to be able to change this. The link name, I just don't want to read this kind of crap. I really don't. I'm going to unselect the box so I can give it a different name. St. Clair, used to be River, St. Clair Golf Club. And save. And they stuck it right in the middle. And there, at this time, I don't believe there's any way to rearrange this. Let's go ahead and hit next. Office information, same stuff as your agent information, phone numbers. If there's not a second one, don't display it. Remember, Laura license law requires you to either show the office address or the logo. So if you're working out of an office that your license is not in, so maybe my license is held in Rochester, but I really work in St. Clair, then I wouldn't really want to show my office address. But then you must show your logo. Go on to the next. Now here's the really cool piece about Collab Center, your notifications. You can customize this the way you like. So at the very top is your agent notifications. So what do you want to get notified on? I want to know when my client gets a new listing. I want to know when there's a price change on one of those listings that matches their criteria. I also want to know if there's an open house on any of those listings that are going to my clients. Tours, not so much. That's usually broker tours. And if my client's favorite or possible listings, I want to know. If there's a comment added, I want to be notified as well. And if my client creates a new search, I want to know as well. Now remember, my notifications are only going in once a day to me. That's how I set mine up. So at 7 a.m. is when I'll see this stuff. I will set my schedule for the day. So maybe my client created a new search. So at that point, I'll give them a buzz. Hey, did something change? It's a great time to reach out. And I've heard now that most agents are Zooming with their clients, they are actually getting to know their clients better because they're face-to-face, getting to know them. It's pretty interesting. It's a very different shift in the industry right now. Okay, still no questions. We are good. Now remember, if you want me to repeat something, that is just fine. I will do so. This video will also be loaded up to our YouTube channel, which is MiRealSource Media. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Client notifications. So this is where I added to make sure my clients get notified of a status change. That is something a little different. So they get new listings, they get price changes, but as I said earlier, in this changing market, it's active in the morning, it's pending in the afternoon. So I want my clients to understand that things are moving rather quickly. And then notify on comments as well. Okay, go back up to the top and hit the next. So that was the big piece right there, the notifications. Here's another one that is defaulted to only residential. So this is what yours looks like as the default. What if they might want to look at multifamily? Yeah, I would select that. Hey, maybe it's a business opportunity. I'd be willing to rent out the other half of the home. Vacant land? What if they decide they can't find anything and maybe we should build? There's a lot of vacant land out there. I want them to find that vacant land through me. I don't work in manufactured homes and I really don't do commercial and industrial. That's not me. So on the searchable statuses, all righty. Oh, these are not selected as they are new. See, it's always a good thing to go through your preferences every now and again. So here's what this field is for. When your client creates a search in there or just starts searching for properties in the Collab Center, are they going to see, I think the default is all of it. So they're going to see all the actives, sold, pending, expired, all of that stuff. I don't need my clients searching on sold properties, so I unselect that. They don't need to see the pending, that's a hit or miss, because if they were trying to look for a piece of property, and where did it go? So maybe back on market, keep showing that contingency applies. I'm gonna go ahead and put these as well. Coming soon, listings are allowed to be in the coming soon status and it's two different ways. Our rules say 1 week, that's 7 days. So in there is that 5 business days and the weekend. That's just the way the programming works for us. RealComp, don't quote me on this because I don't work for RealComp, but I believe theirs is 5 business days. So it's same but different. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep those in there for now because you never know. My client might find one. And next, and ta-da! Oh, one last, forgot. So my automated valuations, RPR is coming back in. It was dropped off for a bit and there's a work order in to replace that. So in your client's Collab Center, they do see valuations. The easy value is from Paragon. You know who this estimate is from. And then RPR will be back in there shortly, which I'll check with Brian Alford, our Chief Information Officer, to find out the ETA on that. All right, and that's it. Those are your Collab Center preferences. There are really cool things in there with your social media and your video in there, how to set your clients up so they can search all statuses and things like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this. Now we're gonna go into your client's experience. And then we're going to show, actually, well, let's do an agent recommended at first, and then we'll go over to clients. So I'm going to go to the home tab. Okay. Now I hear music outside. I think my daughter is home. She usually sits out there and jams out for a little bit. In my market monitor, I have this set up for just my area, of course, in the school district. I love that. That was a new development this past year. So the East China School District is a pretty big chunk of area around home. So I'm going to go into the new listings here. This is where I always find new listings. And of course, if I'm playing around in the system, I'm going to go to the very bottom to get the most expensive listing for $668,000. I'm going to go ahead and click into this. And I'm going to say, oh, this one was just outside of your price range by, we'll say 40,000, maybe that's price, maybe $40,000. It's just a little too much. But man, I think this is a perfect home for you. I'm going to put it into your Collab Center so you'll get notifications on it and you'll be able to see it whenever you want. I do have to check the little box. It's one of those crazy little secrets. Check the box. I'm going to save my listing from the blue bar, and I'm going to save it to a listing cart. Now remember, the cart handout is in the MLS documents under the MiRealSource education folder. And it'll tell you all the different types of carts there are in Paragon. Now, I don't want to save this for me, which I can save it for me, but this is actually for my client. So I'm going to select contact, and then it says only the one selected. And I'm just going to start typing in Betty's name. And of course, I had two in here. Didn't delete my last Betty buyer. I told you I love her. And I'm going to save. I wonder if I should put both in there. Put both. All right, just to make sure. And save. So now I'm going to go back over to my contacts module. See, my tabs are open, so I can just go to my tabs here. I actually want to refresh this just to make sure. View manage. So now when you see Betty buyer, the one I just did up top, yep, 6 new. Make sure which one's the Betty buyer. Oh, my Betty buyer was the new one on the bottom. So they're all new. I'm going to delete Betty buyer. Here's an easy way for you guys to learn how to delete. So I'm just going to select here on the left, hit delete off the blue bar where you're going to find so many things to do off there. Normally I delete the contact and the search because this is just my search here, but I'm just going to delete that contact. And now I have Betty buyer down at the bottom. You can also do a search. So if I have Betty, there we are. We've reduced it to just the new one I put in to show you guys. There's a green button here I saw in support the other day. It was very interesting. Somebody mentioned, hey, when I see some new stuff, some have the little green dot beside it and some don't. This lets you know that there is new activity or new listings in here actually. So if I go to the right, here are all the new matches. If there was anything that my client had did as a favorite, possible, or reject, you would see it. She has not accessed it, and there are no tasks. And remember, we set an alias for her, BB. So the reason why you want to do that, and the reason why it's here, is say Lisa Harris gives me a call. Hey, BB they have a search that matches the home I've listed in Roseville. What am I supposed to go into everybody's record to see where that is? Nope, I simply just pull up my contacts. I can go over here, I can sort by alias to group them all together. And they're all right here. There's BB, Bubba, Big Red. All right, so we have all of my other clients. You will see that they've got favorites, possibles, rejects. The reason why you want to train your clients to do this is when you're looking at these favorites. So I'm click into the favorites, and this is I love this piece right here. Still no questions, okay. So here's all the favorites for her. Some are closed. So there should be, there's 13 there, okay. I don't really want the closed in there. I can go in, duplicate listing in here, and talk to my clients. Hey, I know that you really love this one on Milford Road. Do you want me to go ahead and get that set up? So I have a nice list of everything here. I can make the selections of what she wants to see, select them here, and off that actions icon, go right down to showing time. And this is a showing cart. So I'm going to add to a showing cart, another useful cart. As I select the cart, I'm going to create either a cart. I don't think I have a new one, an old cart anymore. We'll say we're going to go out showing tomorrow. And I am going to select my buyer. That is Betty Buyer. Now remember, when you select your buyer's name right here, it is for you and you alone. However, your broker and anybody with a higher authority, the clearance, can see that. It's a great safety thing too. So people know where you are. Also, I'll know that I've showed Betty Buyer 45 houses. It's all been logged into the system. I simply tap OK at the bottom. There, it's saving it for me. And don't forget, you have your smart route at the bottom. And this makes it a little easier. My appointment status, view instructions, I would want to, something is here, you need to look a little more. But I love this, being able to throw them all in there at the same time. I'm going to close showing timeout right now, because that's not part of this class. Close out the spreadsheet here. So now you see why you want them using these little icons here, or their icons in their searches. And the other fact that I love, I keep mine sorted to the top, not alphabetical. So this way I have all of my people who are active at the very top. And I simply just sort by last notified. Now, when you click it once, it's going to reverse sort where all the empties are at the front. Click it again, and it sorts properly. So now, what is your client's experience? What do you need to teach them about Collab Center? I'm going to go into Betty Buyer, view her site right here. Someday. All right, here we go. This is what your client will see. When they first open up Collab Center, everything is going to be an update and new all at the same time. Where's my agent pick? Must have put in the wrong Betty Buyer, probably selected the same Betty Buyer twice. So they're going to see all of these are new matches for them. They're simply going to mark favorite, possible, reject, create their own folder. They can view the detail here, and there's a more button here. For your clients, they can send an email. They can make a comment, see the associated documents, which is fantastic. They can request a showing. Now, this doesn't go right to showing time. This is a request to you. And just so you know, they can also share this listing out on Facebook. And if you want to see what that looks like, I'll take 2 seconds here. Okay, I'll take a minute and do that. And it's opening up over here. So let me get that. Let me show you the window. There we are. So this would be as a client. I'm thinking about buying this one. What do you think? They all, everybody likes to make sure that they can, their friends are going to come visit them at this house. I'm going to post to only me because maybe I don't know what it looks like just yet. And actually, I'm not moving anywhere. I have too many realtor friends ask, Debbie, how come you're not listing with me? And post. From my contacts module, I'm going to go in, view, and manage. So here is, so changing this client over to agent preview. This is my pain in the butt client. I'm simply going to go to the contact information here on the left. And right here, I'm going to change this from new only is the default. And I'm going to simply change this one to agent preview. And now any new listings that come in will come to me first. I have to approve them before they go out to my client. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to close that one down. So now here are my listings that need approval for my client. Now I will get an email to show me which ones are coming in, but for classroom's sake, I will come right in here and do this. Click that 11. I will personally go into each listing to make sure that either A, it's updated, or B, it has that fireplace that she requested. I would go in, look at all my listing photos and say, yes, this one is a match. It is updated. I would select it. And if I had multiples to select, I can either do it one at a time or in a group and simply select approve. If I wanted, say maybe this one, yeah, it's not where we want to be. That wasn't what she wanted. I would simply disapprove and it would fall off this list. Now, maybe inventory has gone low and you need to check out the listings that were disapproved before. Maybe you need to go back and take a peek and see what we need to dig out of there. So I'm going to click into the 11 for disapprove and see that maybe, well, you know what? Maybe this listing here, maybe we should put this one back on the list. Let's go ahead and do that. So I would close that, select it here, and say approve that one. So it is simple when you found yourself out of listings, and if you have to go back to the ones that you had disapproved before, they're not totally gone. They're just in another container that you can look at. All right, so we've set up a search. We've created a client. We've talked a little bit about where to find those emails for your client that get sent to them, and checking the box that they're a buyer, so we know how to find those, which now that we are in the view and manage, here is where you can do the sorting of your clients. Status or types. Here's where your type. Maybe I want just my buyers. And hit enter and they will move. So all of these are my buyers. Now remember, groups are something that you do yourself. You might have whatever kind of groups you want, buyer and a buyer prospect. I personally think that these should have been set up because there are at least 4 buyer and a buyer prospect, seller and a seller prospect would have been good. So if I wanted all of my buyers, enter. Now I can group email these guys. We do have a cheat sheet on this. I don't do it a lot. And actually, I don't want to take up that time in this webinar because we are out of time, aren't we? We're actually till 2 o'clock. This is not an hour-and-a-half class by any stretch of the imagination. I could pull it off in 45 minutes, really. And especially if I share my screen during the entire time when I'm trying to teach you. Okay, so we've set up the client. We've gone through your preferences wizard in the Collab Center. Please don't forget to get your social media set up. If you only do one, that's fine. It doesn't matter to me. Doing a video of yourself, just an intro. Yes, and we all think we're dorky. I do. I've tried doing the videos and I'm like, oh, that's horrible. Colleen will say to me, no, it looks great, Deb, go with it. She would never lead me astray. We have checked out your client's collaboration center. Now remember, they can also view it on their mobile device. It's fantastic on there as well. If it's on an iPad or a phone, it works perfectly. We've done the agent recommended, which is a really, really cool piece. I love that one. And I think we have everything all in the Collab Center. Remember, this video will be uploaded to YouTube, so don't forget to subscribe to MiRealSource Media. And if there's any other questions, just let me know. I'll be hanging out here for another minute, whether it's agent recommended. This way you have time to download that handout on the right-hand side. It is called the Collab Center. It has all the pieces in here that we just did. It's a 3-page document, so it tells you how to set those notifications, the extras, the agent recommended, viewing your client site, and customizing your Collab Center. All righty, so looks like we are doing good. If there's any other questions, please feel free to email me, and don't forget to take the survey at the end of the class. Thank you for attending. Bye-bye.